valid with the human eye. They were validated because in Egypt there were shades. In Egypt there are good agricultural systems. They had controlled weather. But here they are exposed to every element and pain. And it is not for one day, it's for 40 years. But now look at what God tells us was happening with them. What was happening with Israel? Look, God now telling them to build a temple for them. Then he tells them something that happened. He was identifying with their pain. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I have not dwelt in a house, out in a tent and in a tabernacle. Israel, when you're in the wilderness, you're living in a tent. I was not in heaven in those golden streets. I was with you in the tents. I was also in the tent. I was not in heaven in those golden streets. No, I was in a tent. I identified with your pain for 40 years. I identified with your pain. You're not alone. Who says, I have delayed in getting something. There is a pain for school fees. There is a pain for health. Daddy is there. You are not alone. He identified your pain. For 40 years, he tells them, come on. I also was not living in a good place. I was living in a tent. When you are living in tents, I identified with you. I identified with you, Israel. It was a painful curve, but I never walked away. I never celebrated myself. No. I identified with you. Because in my provision nature, I identify with my people. I do. When Jesus comes, mchungaji, when Jesus is born, his parents come and bring a turtle dove for sacrifice. That is, you know the implication. Jesus is from the lineage of King David. Don't forget, let's journey together. His great-great-great-grandfather is King David. You know that? Kings live in Portions. If you want to know, go to England today and meet Queen Charles. They live in Portions. Everything they want is given to them. And after King David, there comes another man called Solomon. Very rich. Solomon was very rich. By the time Jesus is born in that lineage, a king's lineage that was very rich and depreciated to poverty. It had from King David, Solomon, their family lineage. Ni kama tuseme wewe ni mtoto wa baba. Umezaliwa, alafu tukikuja leta kukuangalia tunakupata unatembea hapa ukiokota na kuuza ndio upate chakula. And baba Raila Amolo Odinga was your great grandfather. Shamba zote na kila kitu. Then saa hiyo ndio unatembea na kunia ukitafuta plastic. This is what it means. Jesus, at the time when Jesus was being born, mtoto akizaliwa na anatoka kwa familia tajiri, wangeleta ng'ombe kulu kama sacrifice kwa Mungu, kumwambia Mungu asante. Lakini ukitaka kujua ni maskini, Mungu aliwaambia nyinyi leteni tu njiwa. Njiwa ndio Yesu alileta because mama yake na babake walikuwa maskini. But look at us, we are from the lineage of King Solomon and David, but we are so poor now. All we can bring to you is a turtle dove. Jesus identifies with your lack. But the time he comes, he doesn't come as a rich young man. No, he comes in that state of being, that state of lack. He knows what it means to lack money. He knows. He knows what it means to lack good shoes. He knows what it means for you not to go to school in time. You lack school fees. He knows that. Because he's born in a lineage of pain and struggle financially. He is. He now identifies with you. And look, I like it that Jesus did not come and he was not born in a nation like the Canaanites or the Perizzites or the Philistines. They were big at that time. He picks a nation that is called Israel. And by the time Jesus is being born, Israel is under bondage. The Romans are oppressing Israel. But God decides it is Israel I'm picking. And it is Israel, you that is a slave, that I'm picking to have the king born out of you. Because God identifies in his provision nature. He identifies with you. Come on. God identifies with you. He identifies with my pain. He knows it pretty well. He knows it pretty well. He identifies with your pain. Don't think he's not there. Those lonely moments you're alone, don't think he's not there. He is. We've had those times. We've had them. There was a time. The Lord had done us as a family. He had done us. We were doing pretty well with that beautiful girl called Georgina. And all of a sudden, everything came down tumbling. Everything. You know everything? I mean everything. Everything came down tumbling. I find myself in a court with a case that I even don't know its head and its tail. And we are praying and fasting. And then paying the government. And we have to pay the government 1 million, 2 million Kenya shillings. Hey, we thought we were done with the court case. Now here comes where we are invested. Then somebody comes and tells us this thing is not working. We get home, meet your thing. They are looking up. I came from up there. And I was still preaching. I remember, in fact, the day when the court judged against us. I was the one ministering Friday. The court had said we are... Mnaenda mahali. Mwingine anaenda Matao sababu ameibiwa shamba. Mwingine anaenda sababu amerogwa. But in all that state, the peace that I had, because I knew Daddy has identified himself with man. More than what we lost, he has brought it back. More than what we lost, he has brought it back. Amen. Are we making identifies with your pain? God's provision will always deal with your delay. The moment it will deal with your delay. In Joel chapter number 2, you know what it tells Israel? And I will restore to you, dim time, only one can. Only one. Some can restore to you the car you lost. Insurance company can give you back the car you lost. But God is at waiting session. That he deals with your delay. God is able to deal with your denial. Joshua 14, 6 to 9. Joshua 14, 6 to 9. What does it say? Let's read together. Then the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal. And Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, concerning me in Kadesh Barnea. Don't forget who Caleb is. You remember when the spies were sent? Only Caleb and Joshua come back with good report. Right? Caleb and... we are getting the context of this story. Caleb and Joshua come back with a good report. And let's continue. The next verse. When God spoke to me in Moses, Caleb is saying, I was how many years old? 40 years old when and I brought back word to him as it was nzuri tulipotumwa. 40. The next just jump. Nevertheless, my brethren who went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly can. They got, and the result of them getting broken was a 45 years delay in the wilderness. They got broken. Now listen. 10 bring a bad report. 2 bring a good report. Now because of the 10, there is a delay. And Caleb has to suffer the delay. For 45 years, Caleb is rounding in the wilderness and wondering, I was not like them. I gave a new report. Why am I suffering with them? I'm also delayed in the wilderness. God, deal with them separately like you should have dealt with me. Differentiate the two of us. I did a different thing. But Caleb for 45 years, he's just in the wilderness also with them. His time is passing the same way the other time of the other people is passing. In the wilderness, Caleb is suffering the same pain with them. But he was not part of their company. 45 good years. Can't you see the pain in the heart of Caleb? God, why should I suffer?